All right, welcome back, guys, to 10 Ounce Fight Club. And we switched some things up a little bit. So
we fired James.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just
yeah,
kidding.
no.
I'm not even part of this show.
No. So James had to take a little vacation, much needed vacation, and he'll be back soon. But from last episode, we have our special guest, One Cerveza Please.
How's it going?
He's another big fight fan, and we were glad that he was able to join us on last episode. And we're gonna break down last week's fight, and we're gonna go into this week's fight, yeah. And then we're gonna go over one championship, and then we're gonna go over our final predictions. Yeah, Davis and Garcia, dude. So
ready.
Okay, so going to UFC Kansas City. We both were able to see the main event here. It was Arnold Almighty Allen versus Max Blessed Holloway, and it was a great fight. It was a classic Max Holloway fight. I think classic Max Holloway performance, but Brandon Allen had a great performance as well. So, Lucio,
I don't know this guy. Like I've been a UFC fight guy for a long time, but there's just lots of new talent that I can't keep up with everything. Yeah. But this guy, he shined bright that night. I mean, at the end of the night he lost, but he did really good. He was impressive to watch, and I'm excited to see him fight next.
Yeah, Arnold Allen is a very talented fighter. He's so big for the division too. Like, he's very muscular, very powerful as well. And some of the hooks he was landing on Max Holloway, definitely, like, they would have taken down any lesser men. But we know, like we said last week, Holloway has that, the
dog in him.
Yeah, the
dog in him.
And he has the uncrackable chin, dude. Like, nothing can crack that thing. He's so tough. And Allen had some moments in this fight, but it was definitely Holloway's fight to win. It looked like a classic Max Holloway performance where his boxing was just really shining. I liked him mixing up some kicks and stuff like that as well. The low kicks as well were like really good from Holloway. His body kicks were really nasty in the fight.
I was excited. I'm like, keep throwing those.
Yeah.
But he held back a little bit. He's probably scared of getting caught. But man, so Holloway, I've seen like highlights and stuff. Does he just never go to the ground?
Yeah, he's not like afraid of being there, but he definitely wants to like keep it on the feet. He's more of the boxer, more of the kickboxing and stuff like that. So he likes to keep it on the feet. He's rarely ever are you going to see Max Holloway throw a takedown. I think he threw one against Jair, which was smart. Unless he sees like, hey, this is a smart time. But when Max Holloway has that confidence, like, hey, I can outbox you, he's probably going to stay on the feet. But
it'd probably be better for his noggin to maybe win a couple rounds on the floor instead of just getting wailed on. I mean, granted, like, he's winning. I mean, so he's doing something right. I mean, yeah. He's 24-7. He landed 149 strikes of 264. I mean, and outstruck him Arnold by almost double. So.
Yeah. And I do believe that Max Holloway does have the highest strike count in the UFC. It's like an insane number. And, this match that happened, I think he doubled Allen's strikes. So, like, the volume that Max Holloway always brings is, like, crazy, dude.
And it was a pleasure to see him fight. Like, he was so confident in his movement, the way he, like, moved his hips, and he was just so snappy. It just reminded me of, like, a spitting black cobra or something.
Oh,
just like, boom. It was very neat. Arnold absorbed lots of punches, and to be honest, when it came decision time, he didn't look too bad.
Yeah.
And for him only landing 80 strikes, Max looked almost, like, on par with Allen. Like, 80 strikes compared to 149.
Mm-hmm.
But Arnold's 80 strikes were damaging.
Yeah. He cut Holloway up. Holloway had that cut over his eye, but he's been through so many fights. You think like the scar tissue that builds up
gets thin
over the time, and like it just like grows and grows and grows, and then like your skin, it's like as soon as you get hit, you're getting cut open. That's why like Nate Diaz gets cut open like super easy. It's crazy.
You know what they do to prevent like it getting cut open again and again and again?
Don't they have to remove it, right? They have to remove the scar tissue.
They, as soon as like a scab forms, they like remove it, and the scab comes back, and they
Oh,
remove it,
yeah,
and they remove
yeah.
it, and they remove it, and
Huh.
they remove it. Like, I don't know if it's like days or weeks or months. No, probably not months. It don't take that long to heal. But
So yeah, so with this fight, I think both fighters could go like really interesting ways. I mean, with Max Holloway, you still have Volkanovski as the champion, and Volkanovski's put together like 3, definitive performances. I think maybe on the second one, you can argue, but he's definitely beat Max Holloway, those 3 times, and like
they fought 3 times.
yeah, and it's like
He's lost 3 times.
Yeah, and you have Max Holloway in this position where he's next. He could be next up for a title shot, but he's not going to get that because
It's already happened.
Volkanovski has 3 wins over him. But we saw what happened with Izzy and Pereira. This was their 4th fight in the UFC after
Not in the UFC.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was their second matchup. Yeah, 4th confrontation in their second matchup. And we saw, Izzy pull away in that 4th fight. So like, do you give Max that same treatment? I don't think you do, just because of all those wins were in the UFC, where with Adesanya and Pereira, 2 of them were in the UFC, or 2 of those fights are in the UFC, and then 2 of them were
honestly,
yeah.
I think it's so fucked up to say. I love you, Max, but like, I think he should just bow out while he still has his sanity. Like, maybe
just out of the game.
I mean, maybe maybe someone's gonna challenge him a little lower. I'm kind of looking at the rankings now. I'm not too familiar with everybody there, but maybe he wins that, and then if he doesn't get a title shot, if Daddy Dana don't give him that title shot, he might just be like, you know what, I'm gonna retire.
Yeah, I don't know if he would necessarily retire, but I could see him actually going from 145 to 155 in the lightweight division. So I think he can maybe go up in weight. If he's like kind of stuck at this point, I think it would be good for him to go up in weight.
But if he can't even beat, what's his name, at a lower weight, what makes you think he's going to be able to compete with the higher weight class? You think he's going to be able to beat Charles Oliveira, Dustin, the Diamond? Is that his name?
Yeah. Well, he's already fought Poirier twice, I do believe. But I think that Holloway has a pretty good chance. But right now it sounds like he wants to stay at featherweight. So one matchup I've been like kind of eyeing for Max is the Korean zombie, Shang Tsung.
Is that he's in?
He's in featherweight. He is ranked number 6 in the featherweight division right now. And Korean Zombie is an OG, old-timer. We love him. We love to watch Korean Zombie fight. And same thing with Max Holloway. These are 2 guys that have been in the sport for a long time. Korean Zombie's a little bit older because, he started his career later on, where Max started like when he was, he took his first kickboxing fight when he was like 15. So he's been in the game for a long time too. But having these 2 guys, when I think of like OG featherweights, outside of, in like all those guys, like in this era, it's got to be like on the top of my list. It's probably got to be Max Holloway and Shang Tsung. So it would be an awesome matchup to have. Max is into it, I hear, and then I also hear Korean Zombie's into it too.
And that makes sense now. Both been in the game for a while. Both still have their sanity. I don't know. I think this is a potential Hall of Fame or like UFC Hall of Fame fight. Like, I think they go all out.
Could be, yeah.
They stay on their feet and they both bow out at the same time. And this is their goodbye.
Dang, okay, yeah.
I don't know why I'm stuck on that. My brain just is telling me that.
It might be a next level prediction right there.
I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't want to see Max go crazy and get CTE and just like go off the wall and
yeah, I gotcha.
And you know what? maybe they the UFC offers Max some sort of a like deal. Maybe they give him a show, or maybe he's sitting next to Rogan now, or something like that. Because he's been part of the game for a while, and honestly, I haven't heard him I haven't listened to a lot of interviews, so I don't know if he's capable of it, but I think it'd be a good opportunity. He's still gonna get money. He's still gonna be able to provide. He's not gonna go crazy. He can still go to the gym. Maybe he opens his own gym. Does he have his own gym?
I don't think he has his own gym, but he has like a gym he trains at, and that gets funded by him. But
yeah. There's you can go a lot of ways. It just, what does Max want? I want to know what Max wants.
Yeah.
Max, what do you want? Well, this won't get to him, and he's not going to tell us.
Nah, it's all good. And then, so with Arnold Allen, I think that you could match him up with someone, maybe like a Josh Emmett, I think, who just lost to Yair. So maybe like, you get these two guys fighting. Maybe you could do Brian Ortega as well, but I think still Brian Ortega's out on injury. But there's a lot of cool matchups you could do with Arnold Allen and
someone else
in featherweight. Yeah.
Why can't you just do Yair and Arnold?
So Yair is going to be fighting Volkanovski.
Oh, okay.
Pretty soon, I hear, because Volkanovski, apparently to him, he was offered the rematch with Islam Makhachev, which is one of the most competitive fights I've ever seen.
I remember.
It was an insane fight. And so they offered him the rematch because it was such a close fight, and a lot of people maybe thought that Volkanovski won, but that fight wouldn't happen until October in Abu Dhabi, which it's going to be on Makhachev's like home turf and everything. But Volkanovski, being like the greatest, like one of the greatest champions we've ever seen, he says like, no, I'll fight. Listen to this though. He's like, oh, I'll fight with Makhachev in October, but in between, because I want to stay active, I want to stay in the sport, like I want to be the most active champion. He said, I'll fight Yair for the featherweight title this summer.
Damn. That puts another level of respect on him, to be honest. To him be like, I'm just gonna do this because I'm bored. I'm just gonna risk this. I'm not gonna sit back and wait until October or whenever it is.
Yeah.
All right, respects.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on at featherweight after this weekend. So next we're gonna go over Edson Barbosa KOing Billy Quarantillo via knee. So let me break this one down for you. So Billy Quarantillo is trying to set up his strikes and set up his takedowns as well. More of his takedowns. And Edson's like kind of countering him really well on the feet. And then I believe Quarantillo shoots for a takedown and Edson immediately stuffs it. So now Edson realizes like, hey, he's going to start grappling me. So what Edson does is gets ready for his takedown attempt, and Billy throws like a right hand and right against the fence goes to take down Edson, shoot like a double leg on him. Edson meets his chin with a knee. Billy Quarantillo falls face like into the cage, and he's out cold. And Edson Barbosa, being how old is he right now? I'll tell you. He's probably got to be one of the oldest
37
bantamweights featherweight fighters right now.
He's 37. That's up there.
Yeah. So, and for him to be performing still at this level and getting these finishes is crazy, because the one thing that's crazy about Edson Barbosa is this isn't his best highlight of his career. Like, you have him wheel kicking Terry Edom. You have him dropping that overhand on Shane Burgos, and then Burgos standing there for a second and then going unconscious. Like, Edson Barbosa, like, you have so many great performances by Barbosa, and it's crazy to me that he's still achieving these performances this late in his career. And at featherweight, a weight class that he wasn't, he moved to, so.
That's impressive. Honestly, I've probably seen him fight. I mean, I don't miss an event very rarely. It just so happens I was out of town and I just got in time for the main event. And honestly, I forgot that it was on ESPN Plus. I was just like, shit, man, I got to fucking buy this.
Oh, yeah, no, pull it right up on the phone, dude.
And then I was just like, on the way home, I'm like, damn it, I could have been watching this the whole time. But, man, Edson Barbosa, what do you think is next for him then?
Man, there's a lot of interesting matchups. I mean, because he's lost to a couple of guys in the top 15 already. He's at number 14 right now, so maybe him and Giga Chikadze, they already fought. I think maybe you do Edson with Sadiq Youssef. I think that would be a good matchup for both guys. I know Sadiq's been on layoff for a little bit with an injury, so and he's looking to try to get back in there and go against a great opponent like Edson, and I think it would be a good showing of where is Sadiq like at skill wise and in his career.
Where's Sadiq at? In the
Sadiq
rankings?
is number 12 in featherweight rankings, and then Edson Barbosa is number 14. I think it would be.
Oh, okay. Duh.
Yeah,
My
because you have
dyslexia. It's Chikadze.
Chikadze.
Okay, so his nickname.
And right now you have Musafar Iliviv going against. I don't know if I said that name right. That's a tough one, dude.
It's okay.
And Musafar is going to be going against Bryce Mitchell, I believe. And I think it is soon. It might be this Saturday, dude. I might have to double check, but that'll be an interesting matchup. But yeah, so I think you do Edson Barbosa versus Sadiq. That would probably be my pick for Edson with this one. And Billy Q, he was right there on getting into the top 15. I think, just fight someone in that like top 20, 25 fighters list. And yeah, I think that he can get back in there too, because Billy Quarantillo is very talented too. His fight with Shane Burgos was a barn burner. So up next, we have Ion Cutelaba getting a TKO over Tanner Bozier. Tanner Bozier coming down from heavyweight, finally, getting the diet all in order, getting the weight all in order. And he's now at light heavyweight. And Tanner Bozier looked pretty jacked, dude. He looked pretty lean, ready to go. He looked like he could be the better athlete in there. But Ion Cutelaba is like this fighter where he's just like, you don't know what's going to happen with him. You don't know if he's going to land a big overhand on you or if you're going to land it on him. And he's such a fun fighter to watch because he does bring it 100%, and he brought it on Tanner Bozier. Cracked him.
Yeah, he did.
Cracked him, and then just went in for a TKO, and it was the stoppage was a little bit controversial because because Tanner Bozier was actually rising from the cage because he got like kind of put back on the cage and fell down. And then he was working his way back up to the cage when the ref stopped the fight.
I hate when that happens.
It was a little controversial, but
there should be like, no, you can't. I don't know. There should
like
just
an instant
be more,
replay. Like soccer has it, like VAR.
Yeah, but you can't. You just can't. Because then you're gonna say oh well, this shouldn't have happened at this time, and this
It's gonna
shouldn't
leave
have
too
happened.
much controversy.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think there should just be like less referees or something. You know what I mean?
Less rules.
No, less referees.
Oh, let referees. Okay.
Because I mean, most of the referees have been in there. I mean, they've been doing it for some of them decades, right? Since they just opened.
So
up.
just have like the four on like the four top ones or the five top ones.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know what caliber of fight this was. Like, what are these guys ranked? If you can.
So these guys are going to be unranked.
See, okay.
Yeah. So unranked matchup.
Yeah, I guess maybe controversy is good for those guys, and then when they get back in the ring, they go balls to the wall.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we got that great win by Cutelaba over Tanner Bozier, and then we got one of the brightest stars on this card, I think, Brandon Royval, Brandon Raw Dog Royval, gets a knee into a right hand, kind of how we've seen Adesanya throw it in the back with his fight with Derek Brunson, where you throw a knee or a kick with your right side and then you follow it up. So it's like two strikes coming from the same side. And that's exactly the technique that Royval used on Nicolau. Hit him with the knee coming in and then connected on him with the right hand. Nicolau falls to the ground and Royval just pounces on him, starts hitting him with nasty, nasty elbows, and the referee is forced to call the fight. And man, what a great performance from Royval.
Lots of round one finishes.
Yeah. I think there was an arm bar as well, and then another TKO on the card. But
I need to rewatch this whole card. It's not going to take long.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
I got it on ESPN.
There you go. Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. I should have done that before the show.
Yeah.
I apologize.
And Nicolau is like one of those guys that I was very high on. I think he's a sleeper in the division, but he went up against, Royval, and Royval's a very talented fighter, very awkward. Kind of reminds me of like Tony Ferguson, the way he strikes and the way he does jiu-jitsu. So I think he's a bright prospect. It sounds like he's going to get the title shot next after this performance. I mean, there's still some stuff that needs to happen at flyweight. You have Pantoja versus Moreno coming up, but I think that you can now give Royval that next shot. And yeah, Royval's right in there. He's ranked number 4 right now. And it was a great win over Nicolau. And I think Nicolau still keep an eye on him. He's one of those, he's just one of those fighters that he was like Pantoja before, Pantoja got this close to the title, where no one really knows about Nicolau. But he's he's gonna have this setback, and he's had a couple of other setbacks, but he's gonna come back, dude, and he's gonna be really good.
Where's he at? Where's he in the rankings? Is he unranked?
Nicolau right now is number 5.
Oh, no wonder I just went right past him.
Okay, so yeah, that was pretty much all that we I wanted to kind of go over on the Kansas City card. The Kansas City crowd was great. There was some like kind of moments where you could tell that they weren't as educated maybe on like certain stuff, but when Holloway was out, they were chanting his name, they were booing Arnold Allen, so it's good to know that there's like people from that area that are passionate about UFC, because a big sport in that area is going to be Kansas City Chiefs, watching football and stuff like that. So it's cool that some other fans came out and supported this this event. So
are you saying you didn't like that they were booing? Is a little disrespectful?
Just like in just in like certain circumstances, you hear like when someone's doing jiu-jitsu for a little bit too long, everyone's like boo, and then they stand, sometimes they stand them up or not, but
in soccer, in Mexican soccer, if the crowd gets too rowdy, the like official whatever the Liga will suspend like fans next.
Oh wow!
They'll either fine you or they'll be like, hey, you're getting no fans.
Just for booing or just for getting like crazy?
Getting too like throwing
bottles and stuff. Yeah.
Piss-filled bottles.
Oh jeez.
When their opposing team's about to take a corner kick and stuff. But so it was like the first event in Kansas City.
I think they've been there quite a while, but they've been there like a long time ago, but
a while, I guess. Okay.
Yeah. So no, the crowd was great. They they definitely came out to support a lot of fighters, which is really cool. The really cool one was like them chanting Guida's name. It's cool that Guida Clay Guida this late in the game still has like hardcore fans, and
of course,
and newer fans too. So yeah, so that was us rounding up last week's event in Kansas City. So now we're gonna go back to the Apex in Vegas. We're gonna get UFC Apex Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blaydes. So this is a very interesting matchup because Pavlovich is one of those guys that is like, he's so weird. He hits so hard, but he also has like really amazing like hand speed too. He kind of almost reminds me of Tom Aspinall, but like Russian and like a little bit bigger. And it's going to be an interesting matchup because Pavlovich has had troubles in the past with takedown defense. And who is he fighting? Curtis Blaydes, the best wrestler, in my opinion, in the UFC heavyweight division. And so I think that Blaydes could have the potential to take this fight to the ground where he wants it to be, take away some of that danger, take away some of that pop, grind out some of the rounds with him by getting him to the ground and making him defend takedowns. And I think Blaydes could get a good win here over Pavlovich, but he's got to watch out for that nuclear option, dude, that the Russian himself holds, dude.
I like how Blaydes' nickname is Razor.
Oh, yeah.
So do they call him that? Well, one, because his last name, but two, but like he just knows how to get in there and just take you down. Like he knows how to cut through a defense and
something like that. Yeah, I guess you could say.
I've never seen him. I've probably seen him fight, but off the top of my head, I don't remember.
I thought it was Razor. Yeah.
I was thinking it like he's sharp and he can get through, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
I don't know.
Could be a good take. Yeah.
Looking at these stats, it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, but Sergey Pavlovich is so dangerous. His last wins have been over Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa, which are other dangerous fighters. So, one thing I've seen him do when he did fight Tai and when he did fight Derek Lewis was he blitzed them, and I think that's like going to be his strategy is just trying to blitz Blaydes, get him out of there in the first 2.5 minutes of the fight. And Blaydes needs to be ready for that. And I think that's where, the wrestling needs to come right from Blaydes. And you got to get this fight to the ground early so you can, put it on him in those later rounds. So,
yeah, I was sad when he beat Tai.
Yeah.
I was rooting for Tai that fight.
Everyone loves Tai Tuivasa. You can't hate that man. He's so cool.
He still did his shoe beer with some random person's shoe in the crowd.
Yeah, that's cool when he does that. All right, so next we got Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Brad Tavares coming off a loss to Dricus du Plessis, who is now very close to the title. And then Bruno Silva, his last loss coming by way of Alex Pereira, who just, fought for the championship fight. So like both these guys, their last losses have been people that are like really close to the title picture or like, high ranking fighters. So they've lost to some good guys. It's not like these guys like are bad or anything. Bruno Silva, his most notable wins have been Jordan Wright and Wellington Turman as well. And so he got good knockouts in both those fights. Very interesting knockouts as well. And so he was able to finish those fights, but he fell short against Gerald Marchart and Alex Pereira recently. And I think there might have been another one in there that I'm forgetting. But, yeah, so both guys kind of on a bad step, and they want to get back into it. They want to get a win underneath the belt, and I think this is a great matchup that the UFC made. If I have to make a prediction with this one, I think I might have to go with Brad Tavares. I think just his veteran mindset that he's fought Izzy. He's fought so many different guys. Like he was in the top 15 area, like right in that verge of like the top 15 area for so long. I think that veteran, that veteran mind is going to come into play against Bruno Silva, a little bit younger in the sport. But Bruno Silva does have pretty good power as well. And I think both guys are really tough too. Brad Tavares and Bruno Silva are very hard people to put away. Alex Pereira cannot put away Bruno Silva.
They went to decision?
And went to decision. That was, the only UFC fight where Pereira went to decision is, him versus Bruno Silva. So Bruno Silva has a chin on him, and so does Brad Tavares. So I think this fight might go to decision, but I think it might go to Brad Tavares getting the win.
I'm unfamiliar with both fighters, but I'm excited to watch it.
Okay, and we'll go ahead and take a quick break here, and we'll be right back.
Alrighty.
All right, guys, we're back after our quick little break. Just had to reset some things, and next matchup we're going to go over is Bobby King Green versus Jared the Flash Gordon. And this is a really good matchup, I think. I think it kind of favors Bobby Green quite a bit more, but Jared Gordon has kind of showed us last fight that he's not afraid to, throw hands. He fought Paddy Pimblett in his last fight, very controversial fight because a lot of people thought Jared Gordon took it away in rounds 1 and round 2. And for some reason, the judges saw that Paddy Pimblett, won.
I remember that. That was a controversial win from Paddy.
And I believe one of the judges even said that Paddy won all 4 rounds. So all 3 rounds. So that's crazy, dude. But I think that this fight's going to be a good test for Jared Gordon to see if he's, where he's at. But I think this fight, like I said, I think it favors Bobby Green quite a bit. Just Bobby Green's elusiveness, like with his, with his head movement and stuff, maybe didn't show too much last fight with Drew Dober because he did get knocked out. But in his other fights, his defense has been stellar, and his hands are like super fast, and he can catch you at like the times where you're off tempo and then or like off beat and out of position, and he can crack you. In those instances, he does have a win over Ali Quinta, TKO win, and he has a couple of very close performances with Rafael Fiziev, who we saw fight Justin Gaethje. That was a great fight. So we saw those two guys go at it. And
wait, when did that happen?
Bobby Green and
Justin Gaethje and
Fiziev. That happened the John Jones Cyril Gane card. Yeah,
that's a great card.
Yeah, and I think it's I don't know, Bobby Green's just a little too dangerous, I think, in this fight for Jared Gordon. And Jared Gordon has been stopped quite a bit in his fights. His only decision that he's went to was his last fight with Paddy the Batty. And I don't know. I think that this fight's gonna probably go to Bobby Green, if I had to say, and I think by maybe knockout. I would say.
I think Bobby Green he fought in the 12th, and then he fought again on the 26th, in the same month.
Who did he fight in that 26th? Wasn't that Makhachev? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He did. He took that fight on super short notice because the UFC probably paid him quite well for that. So why not take that chance?
Hey, if he needs a dough, why say no?
Yeah, definitely.
And then he lost against Drew Dober, huh?
Yep, a bad knockout with Drew Dober. But I think, Bobby tagged Drew Dober up quite a bit, and then Drew Dober's he's another fighter, another one of those fighters with like a crazy chin. Like he takes damage so well. He was able to find, I believe, a left hook on Bobby Green, and Bobby Green went down. But yeah, so I think in this matchup, I'm gonna have to say Bobby Green takes this fight by knockout. I'm not saying go bet.
Round?
I'm not saying go bet on any of these picks, guys, because
I need a round. I need a round.
Oh, okay. So we are talking betting now.
No, I just need a round.
Okay.
No betting.
I think round 2. I think Bobby Green finds him in round 2 because Bobby Green likes to fight in his range in round 1, and so I think in round 2 you could probably see something. But you never know. This is MMA. Jared Gordon could just do something amazing. Okay. Last matchup I wanted to talk about on this card was Mohammed Usman versus Justin Tafa. And you know Kamaru Usman?
Yeah.
Former welterweight champion.
I know Kamaru.
Well, he has a little brother, but that little brother is actually a heavyweight fighter.
Okay.
And he
is a little big brother.
I think, yeah, you should look up a picture of Mohammed Usman and tell me how much he looks like Bubbles from Lilo and Stitch. It's the most accurate depiction of this guy. He's so intimidating. He's like one of the scariest dudes on the roster, but he's like a big old teddy bear. If you watched him on The Ultimate Fighter, he's a class act guy, great guy, and very inspirational story that he has behind him as well with losing his daughter, and committing his life to fighting for her and also helping his big brother Kamaru Usman get to the with his camps and with on his road to the title. Mohammed Usman was there for it all. So.
This guy is huge. I'm afraid of this guy, dude. He looks older than Usman.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but doesn't he look like Bubbles? If you put sunglasses on him and one earring, I think he
honestly.
Would look like
hold
Bubbles.
on, let me pull up Bubbles. Just I can't think of him off the top of my head. But like that security guard. Dude?
Yeah,
yeah,
the security guard.
Yeah, he does. Don't cancel us. Oh no, he just needs a freaking.
I can't be the only one that's seen that because he looks so much like him. But yeah, Mohammed Usman is like, he's a G dude. He's a cool guy. I like him, and I'm excited for this fight because he's going up against a dangerous guy, Justin Tafa. You know those Pacific Islander boys is the
what's his name? Tuivasa?
Tai Tuivasa. I think Justin Tafa, I think he's Samoan. I do believe, write in the comments if you got the correct answer. But
like Pacific Islander.
Yeah, Pacific Islander region. And dude, those guys are so tough, man. I don't know how it like correlates because those guys, when I think of those guys, I think of sturdy chins like Mark Hunt and also big hands, big power like Mark Hunt as well.
Think about it like this. Think about the conditions that these people lived in. They were living on islands and stuff. Like they were isolated. They had to like fight to survive. Like so, who knows?
They're just bred tougher, huh?
Yeah, just like the toughest survived, and apparently it's tough, strong, muscular people that just can go out there and get shit done. I mean, he's 26 years old, going up against Muhammad. He's 34. How old is Usman?
Usman is like 36 or 37, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was just a side note, but I don't know. I'm excited about this match. Young blood versus a little bit older blood. 8 years between them.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think both guys, are going to go for the knockout. But I do think Usman's just a little bit more technical than Tafa, which I think that could aid him in this fight. So if I'm going to pick, I'm gonna have to go with Mohammed Usman, I think, on this one.
I'm gonna pick Junior round 1. Catches Usman because he got to 11 fights. Tafa only has 4. He's going to have to go out there and just stun him. Usman is going to expect him to play it slow maybe and feel him out. And that's why Tafa's just going to go in there and handle business within the first 45 seconds.
Yeah. Well, we'll get the answer this Saturday, huh? I hope. That we will. So
the answer will happen. I'll be wrong. Everyone's going to be mad. Whatever. I'm sorry.
All right, so going over to another big event that's happening this week, it's going to be One Championship. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, former UFC flyweight champion, going up against Adriano Moraes. and this is going to be a good one, guys. So this is a trilogy fight. When if you guys don't know who Demetrius Johnson is, if you haven't been watching the UFC for too long, just look up Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson in YouTube. Watch a couple highlight videos. This dude was the king of flyweight and was putting together this amazing streak, and he was like the king of flyweight before Moreno. He was the one that was just knocking contender away. And he was the one. I think he's probably tied. I think he's probably number 3 on my GOAT list of MMA goats. But he's an amazing person. If you like video games too, you should check out Mighty Mouse's video game channel. He plays Elden Ring, plays Escape from Tarkov, all the good games, dude. So.
I can't play Escape from Tarkov.
That's an intense game.
I will just rage so bad, just looting lockers for 2 hours and then just getting popped in the head as you extract. Actually, I played it. Mm-hmm. I uninstalled.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I recognize Demetrius Johnson. I've seen him fight. He's a familiar face. He's been in the game for a while, and I'm just kind of reading these articles that are popping up. Seems like he's thinking about retiring. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I watched an interview with him with Ariel Helwani, and he just kind of feels like this one might be the time to do it. I mean, he's already accomplished so much in his career, and I think that a win over Moraes, settling a trilogy, after all he's accomplished, winning the world championship, belt at bantamweight, and then being in the UFC for so long and defending that flyweight title for so long, he's accomplished almost everything. He's accomplished everything in this sport. He's on the GOAT lists, and
this trilogy is probably going to be his best payday, and I think it's a good time to kind of leave the gloves in the ring.
Yeah, and he has things, like his, streaming and stuff like that he can fall back on, and he has other projects. So it's not that fighting is a monetary need for him. He's gotten to that level where his brand that he made through fighting has now been established, and he can, ride that till
whatever he wants.
Yeah, to wherever he wants. Yeah,
he's not gonna get CTE from playing Tark. Oh, maybe. He
might get PTSD from it.
Not PTSD. No, don't disrespect our veterans.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
Oh, but in Nevada, they just approved medical mushrooms for
there you go. That's a good
for
win.
veterans to help combat PTSD. That's a topic for another day, but that's pretty neat.
Okay, so I think this is going to be a good fight. So you have Adriano Moraes getting a flying knee win, or it wasn't a flying knee. In one championship, if you don't know, you can actually to a grounded opponent, you can't do this in the UFC, you can kick to the head and you can knee to the head. So that's the difference between one championship. There's a couple of different things, but that's the big takeaway that a lot of people like to talk about between the UFC, comparing the UFC to one championship.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that should be allowed in UFC?
I mean, it happens in street fights. So and I think
it happens in real fights.
Yeah, it happens in real fights. So I think that, I think there's a time and a place for it. And, some people, it might not be their, cup of tea, to others it might. And for me, I think there's times where I'm okay, I can see where this is good for the sport. But at other times I'm okay, when I do see a fighter get kneed in the face when they're on the ground or when they get kicked, that, you hurt for them because that's a very damaging shot.
Look, people get stabbed in real life street fights. I think UFC's doing it right. Obviously, they want these people to be successful and to be in the sport for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. One is maybe just I don't know. I'm not familiar, so I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, no, you're all good. But yeah, so Adrian Moraes wins in their first matchup via knee to the head while Demetrius is on the ground. And Moraes takes the bantamweight belt. Then time passes by. Demetrius Johnson gets a couple of different fights, and I believe he did also fight Rod Tang during that span, which if you don't know Rod Tang, you should watch videos about him as well. Super talented Muay Thai fighter. And but yeah, so during the offseason, kind of before he was going to rematch Moraes, he went and fought Rodtang in I think maybe like one other fight. But so they finally get to the rematch. And Demetrius Johnson in round number 2 or 3, I believe, hits a flying knee on Moraes, hits him with the same strike that he hit him with in the first fight.
Yeah, so I'm watching it right now, but yeah, so it's like this big revenge thing, like.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is great. This has great story arc, and it makes sense of why he's bowing out. I mean, it's perfect timing.
So yeah, I think that, both these guys know each other so well. When you've trained for each other for so long, for over different multiple fights, like this is going to be their third training session for each other. So I think it's both fighters know each other like super well, know what they're going to be good at and what they're going to do. So I think just, we'll see who the better fighter is in that one. So.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, by rounds 2 and 3, I think fighters are pretty familiar. These guys are looking at, 10, 15 rounds between them?
Oh, no. So this one's going to be 5 rounds. Yeah.
But, like, all the other fights...
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Yep.
So did the other... Like, they fought each other lots of times. It's been many, many rounds between them over the past, 2 fights. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be quick. They're going to know each other, going to see each other's weak spots, and it's going to be a quick... I don't know who's going to win, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very tough matchup. I don't know who's going to win either, but... Okay, so on to our last event that we're going to be looking at here and reviewing. It's going to be Ryan King Garcia versus Tank Davis. And if you don't know, we talked about it last episode a little bit, but just want to reiterate and, kind of go over our final predictions. Yeah. So what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know, right? It's gonna be a close fight. There's just too much rules and stuff that Tank left for Ryan to when it comes to that.
The weight cut. That was
the only being able to rehydrate like 10 pounds or something like that, and it's something Ryan hasn't done in like a couple years since. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect him. I'm sure he's trained for it. I'm sure he's been hovering around that weight class for around that weight, specifically because of that clause that they set probably earlier on than we even know. So I'm guessing Ryan's going to come in there ready. I'm guessing Ryan's going to come in there quick and flashy. And I'm guessing they're going to both go down. They're both going to hit the mat. Now, who's going to take the victory? I don't know. But I hope Ryan does just to put it in his, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this win would do Ryan Garcia a lot more than it will do Tank, because I think we already know how proven Tank is already as an athlete, but we don't, or as a boxer. But there's, for some reason, still people have like a lot of question marks on Ryan Garcia. I don't see those. I think that he's proven himself already. I mean, he's young, and both fighters are young. But yeah, for some reason they do like to criticize him a lot. But I think for this one, this is one of these fights where my heart gives me an answer, but my mind gives me the actual answer, which,
I agree.
So my heart, I think, is going for Garcia to win. And I think in reality, in my mind, my mind is saying that, I think Tank is probably going to win this one.
I think Tank is a safe bet, but man, I really want Ryan to win.
Yeah, it'd be sweet. Yeah,
Ryan to win, man. There's been lots of Mexican fighters winning in all different sports.
Yeah.
In the UFC and like we're even like some Mexican one last year, like in like F1 and I don't know. I think 2024, the second part of 2023 is
the time. Yeah.
Is it's Mexican time, all right? Mexico time. Let's do it. Ryan, I think you got this, and I think you need to finish him early, because his mental strength has been questioned in the past. He's pulled out on fights due to mental health issues, and everyone has those, and hopefully he got those all figured out. So if it does get into round 7, round 8, round 9, round 10, round 11, round 12, he's prepared, and he knows what to do with the tools he has in his bag.
Yeah, no. both guys, like I said in our last episode, both guys have a lot of ways to win this fight. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. I think this is the boxing fight that everyone's talking about. And like we said in the last episode too, like I'm glad that fights like this are getting made, because so many times boxing promoters don't want to make the fights that people want to see, just because of how different organizations offer, or different promotions handle sponsorships and stuff like that. And so when you have these like two companies, when have these two companies beefing about like who's going to get what, it's never going to work out. And I'm glad that the promotions were able to come together on this one and give us a fight that boxing fans have been like asking to see. Two guys that are close to their prime. Maybe they're in their prime. Maybe they're starting it.
They're just getting started.
Yeah, we want two people in their prime fighting at their best, at their nastiest, and I think that this is one of the fights that we've gotten to see out of boxing, put together this way. Because in the UFC we get to see it happen all the time, because the UFC company is the matchmaker, but in boxing it's like it's not real.
They're different agencies.
Yeah, you can just connect with whoever, kind of,
and it becomes of who has the most followers. Who has the most bots, though?
Yeah.
Who has the most legitimate followers? Like, and it's like a pissing contest, and it sucks. It comes to that all the time when it comes to boxing and who gets what and everything. Man, I wish boxing was just like 50-50 across the board. Let's do it, and winner gets an extra 10% or you just can't though, because there is bigger names and there's smaller names.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, what was your final prediction? Ryan, right?
Ryan. Before round 6.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what round, but I'm gonna say Garcia. I'm gonna keep it with my heart this time. I said it. My prediction was last week was still was Ryan, so I want to keep with that. So, all right, guys. Well, that's been our episode. Go ahead and plug all the socials.
Go check out my YouTube channel, Instagram, One Cerveza Please, all across the board. And I think I got other stuff, Twitter and stuff, but I really don't use that. And I just post funny shit, just stupid skits. And I've been skateboarding. If you're into that, I like golf and be doing some of that. And I also have a little podcast of my own where we shoot the shit over one beer. So One Cerveza Please.
Yeah, great. And yeah, follow 10 Ounce Fight Club on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. We thank you guys for watching. We thank you guys for sticking it with us, and we hope you love this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. Have a good one.